Hey everybody! Hope everyone is doing okay today. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Fabulous. Everything is looking okay. I'm going to give it, as always, just a minute or two for everyone to kind of be able to join in because there's always a little bit of a lag. So I thought I'd give everyone just a minute or two to be able to join us. And it's new release week from ThermOWeb, which is super, super exciting. There are new products in the ThermOWeb shop. We just had the Pixie Tape and Pixie Dots released last week, and ThermOWeb was not done with their new releases. We have new toner card fronts, flock transfer sheets, and foil transfer sheets new in the ThermOWeb shop. As everybody's coming in, I want to remind you to make sure that you leave a comment in the live chat. That's how we'll know who you are and that you're here. At the end of this quick video tutorial, we are going to be doing a really amazing giveaway. So you want to make sure that as you come in that you leave a comment. Let me show you the card we're going to make today. Here it is. I'm going to hold this up to the camera so hopefully you can see all that foily. There we go. There's the foily goodness. And then I also die cut some flock here. Flock is always hard to capture on live camera, but in real life it's fuzzy, it has texture, and it's a really fun product to work with. I love to use flock with stencils with either the Duo gel because it gives you a really fun design, but I love the simplicity of just die cutting flock transfer sheets, which is what we're going to be doing today. So hello to everybody. I see people starting to pop in. Remember to leave your comments throughout the video. That way we know you're here because we're going to do a giveaway. Since there's some people starting to pop in, why don't we talk about this fun little giveaway? We are going to be giving away one of everything that's new for this release. So let's start off. We have some new toner card fronts. These two are the Spring Fling design. And if you haven't seen our Instagram hop, you want to make sure that you head to Instagram because a lot of fabulous designers worked with these products. And there's another chance to win a giveaway over on Instagram too. So these are the Spring Fling toner card fronts. You're going to get a pack of 8, 4 of each design. So there's 2 designs here. Here's this one. I love this one. And I love that you can use this in a vertical format, or you can turn it sideways and have kind of these horizontal vines. I like this one. And then there's this one too, which when you foil this, it's really pretty. You're going to have anywhere where this black toner is, you can foil this any color of the rainbow with the Deco foil transfer sheets. Is the word flock, F-L-O-C-K, flock. So we're going to be die cutting some flock sheets today, and they are these fuzzy, it's like a little paper fuzz. Here's the new color. This is the midnight blue. So it's these 6x6 sheets, and I'm not sure if you can see some of that texture on here, but it's almost like on a paper backing, but it's fuzzy, and I love it because it doesn't rub off. You don't have to mess with any powders or anything. You can die cut this. This is what we're going to be doing today, is just die cutting this to add the rainbow element onto my card. It's a really fun product to work with, and this is the new color, and we're going to be bringing in some other colors too to make my rainbow. So everything that you see here on my card, the pink, the yellow, the green, and then this is the new midnight blue color. These are all colors of flock. And I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear the texture when I run my finger over it? It's a really fun product. Okay, the next up, these are the Rainbows Galore toner card fronts. 2 different rainbow designs, and I love that they are kind of wonky rainbows. They're not straight and narrow rainbows. These ones have some little hearts and X's in there, and these ones are kind of mismatched almost. They're really fun and really quirky. I love these rainbows. So these are the Rainbows Galore toner card fronts. Again, a pack of 8 is what you're going to get. 4 of each of the 2 designs. Then, because the new release products are not over yet, we have the Mystic Rainbow Deco foil. let's pull this out just for the fun of it, because check that out. It's so pretty. I'm in love with this. I love the way the colors kind of blend together. And that is what I used. Let me roll this up and put that back into its tube. We'll use that later on. But that's what I used on the background here to foil my toner card front. And you can see, let's see if I can get this in the light the right way, but there's blue, there's purple, pink, yellow, green in there. It's really, really pretty. I love this one. So make sure you leave your comments, because somebody is going to win a pack of the Mystic Rainbow Deco Foil, the Rainbows Galore Toner Card Fronts, the Spring Fling Toner Card Fronts, the Midnight Blue Flock Transfer Sheets, and a jar of our Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo, because you can use the flock through a stencil with Duo Gel. You don't have to use it just as I'm going to use it today. I'm using it in a very simple way, just kind of die cutting it. But if you want to add the Duo Gel through a stencil, let that dry and then add flock to your stencil design, you can. So we thought we'd throw that in there too for you. Let's go ahead and dive right in. If you joined me last week's card was a little bit more involved. This week's card, really, really simple. This is one you're going to be able to mass produce if you want to. So let's go ahead and get started. I am using, we're going to start with the background, because that's just how I like to start. We're going to use the new Mystic Rainbow Deco Foil, and I chose this one. This is from the Rainbows Galore Toner Card Front Pack, but I'm kind of deciding if I want to use the other one just to see how. Maybe we'll go with this one just to see how this one looks foiled, and then we'll have one of each background. So here's some tips and tricks for foiling. Oh, thank you, Dawn. It's just Color Street, you know, those little strips that you put on your nails, because I don't have time to actually paint my nails, nor the patience. I happen to get paint all over my nails, so nothing fancy here. So here's some tips and tricks for foiling. I have my laminator off to the side. It's heating up. It's heated. The ready light is on. It says it's ready to go. But I plugged this in at about 10 of. So it's been heating for 20 minutes. That's one of the things that I like to do with my laminator, is to really heat it up and make sure that it is hot and ready to go. So I don't start when that ready light says it's ready. I give it another 10 or 15 minutes. Here's my toner card front. I like to take a clean microfiber cloth, and I'm just going to wipe this off, especially since I've been handling this quite a bit just in this video alone. Your fingerprints have natural oils in them. The air has dust particles in it, and any of those things could interfere with your foiling. So if you have a little dust particle right where you need to foil, your foil is not going to transfer properly, as well as if you have fingerprints all over, you won't get a near perfect foil. So I like to just take a cloth and just wipe it off. Somebody here in a live quite a while ago actually said that they use a Swiffer cloth. So if you don't have a microfiber cloth, maybe a Swiffer cloth from your cleaning pantry would work just as well. You want something that's going to wipe off any particles on your toner card front and not leave any behind. So that's why I use a microfiber cloth. I'm going to grab my Deco foil here, and remember, this is the new color, the Mystic Rainbow. Absolutely love this. My son is 6, and he always says that his favorite color is every color of the rainbow, and I happen to agree with him. I'm going to cut a piece slightly larger than my toner card front. Now, with solid foils, you don't really need to think about the pattern of your foil, but in this case, I want to decide if I want my foil to kind of have these vertical lines, or if I want to turn it horizontally and have the colors going horizontally. And I think I'm going to go horizontally. That's what I did on my test card, and I really like the look. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to cut a piece that is just slightly larger than my background. And when you're working with foil, remember that you want your medium to touch the back side of the foil. So whether you have stenciled with the Duo Gel or the Blanco Gel and you're transferring a design onto that, or whether it's a toner card front like today, your medium is, in this case, is the toner. So you want the back side of your foil to touch your toner. And then I'm going to smooth that out nice and smooth. And I have a piece of Deco foil parchment paper. This is my favorite carrier sheet type for foiling. It's available in the ThermOWeb store. And I should mention that at the end of this video, I go right in and I add a list of links to all the products that I've used. So that'll be there right as soon as I go off live if you wanted to purchase any of the products I'm using. This Deco foil parchment paper comes in sheets that are, I think they're 8.5 by 11. They're like a full letter size, and I just like to cut mine down to size. So this one happens to be right about 6.5 by 6.5 inches. I put my sandwich in here, so I have my toner card front. Oh no, my laminator just started flashing at me. Well, that's not good. We might need, oh no, it says it's okay, I think. Oh no. Well, we might be working on the rainbow portion. That's never happened before. And it's because I'm live that it's never happened before. Let's try it because now the light stopped flashing. So worst comes to worst, I need to refoil and we'll find a different way to use this background. As I was saying before I got sidetracked by my flashing laminator, I have my toner card front in here. I have my foil, and then I have my parchment paper carrier. I'm going to smooth that over, make sure that's nice and smooth, and feed that right through. I put the folded edge in first, and then I just hold it there until my laminator catches it and pulls it right in. While that is going through, I'm going to roll up my foil and put that away. I find that these tubes are really handy because I'm able to just put them in a basket. And eventually my dream for when I have a large craft room is to have a pegboard and be able to hang my foils because they have this little hangy thingy. And so I'd love to be able to have a pretty display of my foils. But for now, I love that they kind of all just fit right into my basket. Alrighty, we're foiling away here. That should be done momentarily. I'm going to put some of my supplies away, like my scissors. We'll tuck those away. And then this is the worst part about foiling live, is that it seems to take a long time. I know in real life it probably doesn't. It takes a minute. But when you're live, it seems like dead time, and it's awkward. Awkward silence is awkward for me. Probably is for most people. We are almost all the way through, and then we'll be able to see the foily goodness. It always makes me so happy. Okay, here we go. When you pull things out of your laminator, they will be hot. The laminator transfers heat. So I like to just kind of wave that around, cool that down. And now for the fun reveal. So I'm going to grab a corner and just kind of peel that back. Oh, I love it. Look at those wonky rainbows. Let's try to get the light just right. But you can kind of see here how I have some blue and pink and purple. I have some orange in the middle there. There's green in here and blue. I'm in love. There we go. There are all the rainbows foiled. And this is that new foil, that Mystic Rainbow foil. I love this foil. I think it's so pretty. And don't forget, I've done some live videos. There are other people on the ThermOWeb design team who have done lots of fabulous videos showing you how to use the negative pieces. I think I even saw somebody in the Instagram hop use both the positive, which would be this piece, and the negative. So this is really exciting. Let me check comments really quick because somebody said, okay, so Diane, if you foil this with the negative piece on the black toner sheets, if you don't like that black peeking through, you can foil it again using maybe a silver foil or a gold foil would look really nice with this design. And one of the things that I like to use if I wanted to keep this white, because I love having this white background, I'm going to grab, give me one moment while I grab the product I like to use. I like to use this, and I can show you that very quickly actually, because this takes no time at all. These are the Easy Cut adhesive sheets. And these are about, I think they're about 5 3/4 wide, so definitely big enough for, oh my goodness, why can't I think, for an A2 sized card. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock. I have a piece cut here, but here's how you would do it if you want to not have the black showing. And if you, like you mentioned, it kind of perpetuates keeping the foil going, but which is a great way. Like if you wanted to foil this with the toner sheets and then foil again with silver, and if you were mass producing, that's a great way to make, 10, 20 cards. But let me show you really quick how you can use just that and have white showing. So I have these Easy Cut adhesive sheets. I'm going to peel it back. So I have a backer and a sticky side here. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's my toner sheet. Let's not mess that up. Here's my plain white piece of cardstock. I'm going to add this in, trying my best to line up my corners. I didn't get it absolutely perfect, but that's okay. Then I'm going to trim away the excess here. There's more excess here. Let me trim away all sides. So now what I have is a piece of white cardstock that is fully covered in a double-sided adhesive. So essentially I have a piece of white cardstock that is a giant, massive sticker. I am going to peel away the backer. So now I have exposed adhesive here, and my whole white piece of cardstock is sticky. So I'm going to kind of fold that halfway so I have an area to work with. Oh, I'll just take the whole thing off. What I like to do now is take this piece, and I am going to flip this over because I find it easier just to work this way, but whatever way is easier for you to work. I'm going to line up my foiled design, and then I'm just going to kind of roll this cardstock into that foil. Press that in. Don't use a bone folder because you could scratch the foil, but I use my fingers and just kind of press out any little bubbles that I may have. Then I'm going to grab my scissors, trim away that excess foil that's hanging off. And this is actually one of my favorite ways to reuse my foil pieces. I love to use the toner sheets, but I love this look too. And it's nice and easy and simple because I'm going to throw away those little scraps of foil, but look at that. There's a second background. Done. So that's another way. Like Dawn or somebody had mentioned, you can use the toner sheets and fill in with a second color, and then you can keep on going if you want to, but no waste foiling right there. I use the positive piece here on the toner card front. I use that Easy Cut adhesive to make a big sticker out of my piece of cardstock, and I have no leftover foils at all. And two backgrounds. I can make 2 cards. So I hope that helps you. I hope that's another way for you to kind of use up your leftover supplies. That's one of the ways I like to do. Alrighty, let's keep on going because, believe it or not, we're almost done with this card. This card's a very simple card. I'm going to set those backgrounds to the side, and I'm going to grab in my colors of flock transfer sheets. So these are some of the older colors. In fact, I think that these were some of the very first colors that ThermOWeb came out with, but I liked these. And then I also have that midnight blue, that new color. And I have a piece here because I was messing around with my sample card, so I'm going to use up my scrap pieces. And I have a die that I'm going to use. This is the Erin Lee Creative Wonky Rainbow die. Now, usually I try my best to only use products that are available but it was available when I made the card, and now it is showing as unavailable, and it was not on her website anymore. So I don't know if she's just sold out or if it's a product that she is not bringing back into her store. But the good thing is you can pick any rainbow die that you might have. Any other die really will work with this as well. I'm going to cut some pieces here. I just want to cut enough to build a rainbow, and actually I might use that secondary card because I'm going to have enough pieces for a lot of rainbows when I'm done here. So I have this. I'm going to grab my die cutting machine and let's get set up here. My computer is actually resting where my die cutting machine usually rests, so that I can chat along with you guys and see and answer your questions. So let me grab my die cutting machine, and all I'm going to do now is die cut this flock just as if it was cardstock. So I have my midnight blue piece of flock. I have that rainbow die, top cutting plate, run that through, and it's going to cut out very, very easily. And now I have 4 pieces of the rainbow. This flock almost cuts easier than cardstock, I think. It cuts very easily. So we're going to do this a couple more times. Enough times to build a rainbow. And this is a great way to use up your scraps. I had scissors. I know that I had them. Here they are. So if you have little pieces of flock transfer sheets, which you can see I just store right in the back of my packaging, great way to use them up. And because of this particular die, it cuts 4, what are they called? Bows of the rainbow, rays of the rainbow. You can actually make 4 cards. They won't be in rainbow order, but who cares? These could be a whimsical, wonky little rainbow card. There's that was Think Pink, and now I have Sunshine Yellow. Again, I'm just going through, grabbing some of the spare pieces that I have from previous projects, because I will always find a way to use my spare pieces. And I'm just going to quickly cut these out. Doesn't take long at all, especially because the flock is almost thinner than regular cardstock. They cut so easily. I'm going to poke that one out with my fingernail. I don't even need a pokey tool. And last color, Green Envy. This scrap piece is a bit bigger, but like I said, I'll just keep it anyway. Right in the back. And you can pick any colors of flock that you want, because there's a lot of different colors. I'm not even sure how many the midnight blue makes, but a bunch, enough to make all kinds of rainbows. This is my last one, so I'll fold up my die cutting machine, put that guy away. And here's the last one. Let me put that back in its pocket. Pull these off of my cutting plate. And now we're just going to glue these together. Onto a piece of, let me find my scrap cardstock. And we might as well make 2 since I have that background. I'm going to use my iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive. And I'm going to start with my midnight blue because that's what I wanted to be on the bottom. And I just find it easiest to start with the smallest piece and kind of build up from there for this particular die set. Here's the Green Envy. I'm just using that Ultra Bond pen to easily add a thin line of glue onto the back side of the flock. Now I'm going to I might just add it right to the cardstock. That might be easy. Here's my Sunshine Yellow layer. Perfect. And then my Think Pink will go right on top. Oh, I need the bigger one. And the fun thing about this is it just gives an extra added element of fun as opposed to using cardstock. I especially love using flock if you're die cutting little pieces for, oh goodness, like a little teddy bear or something. There's companies that have little animal dies that you piece together. This flock would be so cute for that. And the white is very versatile because you can color that with ink, your regular inks for stamping. I've colored it with ink blending tools. I'm going to do a second rainbow here so we can work together that second card and show you the difference between the positive and the negative look. So just gluing these together. This one's not in traditional rainbow order, but I figured I might as well use up my pieces. Oh no, I've made a grave error. Good news, this glue will dry very quickly, but it still gives me a second to peel up a piece. And I need to add my pink piece here because I already used my big pink piece on this rainbow. So I need to put the green on top. This one is just this is a really wonky rainbow. That doesn't go in any kind of color order at all. But I like it. I think it's cute. All right, I'm going to give that a press on there. Put the lid on my glue, and then I'm going to set these pieces to the side because we're all done with that. I do need to do a bit more die cutting. I almost forgot about die cutting my backgrounds, and that's kind of the fun element of the card. It's all fun, but this is a really simple card. I'm just going to trim out this rainbow. It's really simple, really easy to mass produce. And so when I'm mass producing a simple card, I like to add something that kind of gives it a wow element. And that's going to be just simply by die cutting and popping up the background and making those Rainbows Galore toner card fronts, just giving them a bit of extra dimension. I'm just going to fussy cut this, and if you don't like having this extra white border, you can cut right up and kind of tilt your scissors underneath the flock that we die cut and not have a border at all. But I like the little border. I thought it was cute. And it doesn't take very long to cut these at all. And if you notice, I'm not really an expert at fussy cutting, but I do like to turn my cardstock. I'm right-handed, so I cut with my right hand, and then I'll turn my cardstock with my left hand rather than turning my cutting hand. All right, so there's our rainbows for our focal points. Here are the two backgrounds. And on my sample card, you can see here that I die cut this and popped this up. And that just kind of adds a little bit of dimension and something extra to the card. This is a step that you could skip, but I liked the look, and so I wanted to do it. I'm using one of my most used frame die cut sets. This just happens to be one from LDRS Creative, but use anything you have in your stash. Any kind of fancy stitched border or like a crosshatch border would look really fun. I'm going to figure out which one I used on my sample card so that it's as close to the original as possible. And I used these two. I'm going to bring in another new product from ThermOWeb, and that is their new Pixie Tape. I love this stuff. I need to cut 2 dies out of this because I wanted to have the stitch design around the outside, and then I wanted the popped up piece to have it too. So I'm adding this die to the outside, and then I'm going to nestle in my frame die here. And I'm sorry if my head gets in the way, but I want to kind of center this up. That was loud when I set that tape down. I'm sorry if that seemed very, very loud. I promise I'm not angry. Sometimes my husband asks me, what is going on? Are you angry? And I'm like, no, I just happen to be a loud crafter. So I'm going to use that Pixie tape, tape those dies in place. And then let me grab my die cutting machine once again. And I'm just going to run that through. I'm going to kind of put that on at an angle. That's just a little tip for die cutting when you have dies like frame or border dies. I put them on at an angle. It helps it go through the machine easier. And that's cutting. Here we go. So that's kind of the Pixie tape in action. You can see that I'm not really being careful. I'm just kind of pulling that tape off and no residue left behind. It removes super cleanly. And now I have my 2 pieces that I can inlay into each other. And they both have that fun little stitched background. Again, something that you can skip, but it was a step that I wanted to add. I'm going to keep these same pieces of tape except for this one. Oh no, I might be able to keep this one. I folded it over on itself and I didn't know if I'd have to tear it. I'm going to line this up onto this one. I'm going to remove this and just kind of turn it because I like to tape kind of circling around onto the back of my cardstock. Because these toner card fronts are already cut to A2 size, I'm going to turn that around and line that up with the back of the die. People last week were asking about reusing this tape, so here we go. Here's reusing the Pixie tape in action. I'm going to line this up until that's centered. Press that tape in place. Tilt that to the side just a little bit and run that through. And let's reveal this one. Nope, Diane, the Pixie tape. So let me hold this up to the camera. My Pixie tape was here and here. Doesn't pull away. And not here either. I love the new Pixie tape. It's really, really great. I'm going to peel this off the back actually because that's kind of, I didn't realize that was overhanging a little bit, and that would annoy me if I put that on my card like that. So yeah, the Pixie tape is amazing. I used it in last week's live as well. It's really easy to peel right off, doesn't damage your cardstock, doesn't leave a residue on your cardstock, which is something that is huge for me because there are some tapes on the market that will leave a residue on your cardstock as you're die cutting. And I happened to be at my mom's house one week and I was showing her how to die cut. She's new-ish to die cutting, so I'd given her one of my old die cutting machines and I forgot my tape. And she said, well, don't worry, I have washi tape. And so we used washi tape and it left a residue on one of the images that she had just spent so much time coloring, and so she tried to kind of smudge that residue away, and it smudged her coloring. No good at all. So always, always, I'm going to have to buy an extra roll of Pixie tape to have in my travel bag because, nope, didn't pull away the foil finish, and it won't leave a residue on your cards either. Yeah, washi tape is not really meant it's a good backup, but it's not really meant for crafting, for paper crafting, whereas the people at ThermOWeb put a lot of thought into this Pixie Tape, and I'm very appreciative for that. Alrighty, let's finish off these cards because we're pretty much done. I have one card base. I have to grab another one because I was only planning on making the one card, and now we have two. I have to find where they are. Here we go. So here's what I'm going to do to complete these cards. I'm going to start with my iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive, and I'm going to take my frame piece, which would be great for like a shaker card or something. And I'm going to adhere that right onto my card base. We'll do that times 2 since we have 2 cards. Add that here. Then I'm going to grab in my iCraft Jumbo Foam Tape Roll. I left a little bit of Pixie Tape on the back here. I always forget sometimes, well, I shouldn't say always. Sometimes I forget to peel off the Pixie Tape when I add it to the back until I go to glue it down, and then I see it kind of peeking out. All right, so there's my frames glued on. Here are 2 of the 3D foam tape rolls from iCraft, and I'm actually going to be using both today. So usually I stick with my favorite, the 1/16 of an inch, but because I wanted to have some extra oomph behind my card, I'm going to use the 1/8 of an inch thickness on these little center pieces, pop-in pieces, whatever you want to call them, the drop-in pieces. We'll use the 1/8 of an inch thickness, and this is, well, twice the thickness of the 1/16 inch roll. This is usually the tape that I use for interactive cards, but oh no, I've just thrown my scissors. At least they didn't stab me in the leg this time, because I am quite accident prone, and that has been known to happen. So I'm just going to cut some strips of tape and add these to the back of the drop-in pieces. And let's see, which one do I have here? Here I have, oh no, I was holding the tape as I tried to pull it away. That's never good. I'm going to just peel off that backer tape. And, oh goodness, why can't... For those of you who don't know, I have had problems with my eyes for the last 1.5 years, and I couldn't see the edge of that one. I just had to change my lighting. So I'm going to put this right in, drop this right into the piece where I die cut from, and kind of line that up from... I'm standing above now, so sorry if my head gets in the camera. But now you can see how that pattern is completely continuous, but it has that little pop of dimension. And it's just a little extra added something. You definitely don't have to do that, but it's just something that I thought would add a little something to a simple card. I'm going to do the same thing here, just laying that in. And now I'll put my rainbows on top. And for the rainbows, I wanted them to have a little bit of dimension too, but not quite as much there. So this is where I'm going to take the 1/16 of an inch and add some foam tape there. And just a little bit will do you, because this tape is really, it's very strong tape, which... Oh, I think I might have cut that. That's perfect. That never, ever, ever happens. Let's see if I can get this one to do the same thing. Oh, yay! It's a good day when you cut your tape to the correct length. At least for me. That makes my day happy. Peel off the backer here. And I'm going to try to get this centered-ish without using my T-square ruler, because when I pull that guy out, that could take me a long time. You'd think a T-square ruler would make things easier, but it actually just kind of, I have to look at it and look at it again. You know the old adage, measure twice, cut once? If I pull out a ruler, I'll measure 7 times. So I won't make you watch me do that. Now I have a sentiment here, and this is from the Tailored Expressions Simple Strips Original stamp set. I need to grab a second one out. I just happen to have like a whole bunch of these cut, and I was only going to grab one sentiment, but I'm glad that I grabbed my whole little box here, because now I have a second card and I needed a sentiment for it. So just a simple sentiment strip that I have stamped, a whole bunch of them, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive right across the sentiment. And again, just try my best to make that straight and centered across the rainbow. There's one. Ooh. And there's 2. Woohoo! Done. 2 cards. I don't remember who asked me to show you another way to use up your foil background, but I'm glad you did, because there's 2 cards. Here's the positive. Remember, with the Rainbows Galore toner card front and the new Mystic Rainbow Deco foil transfer sheet. Super pretty. And then here's the negative piece that I did with that iCraft Easy Cut adhesive. I hope you love them both. I love them both. I think they're really, really fun. So before we go, don't forget, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but if you weren't here, we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away one of everything that's new in this release. The Spring Fling toner card fronts, the Rainbows Galore toner card fronts, the Mystic Rainbows Deco foil transfer sheets, the Midnight Blue flock transfer sheets, and if you want to use your flock with stencils, we are also giving away a jar of Deco foil transfer gel duo. So if you have not yet left a comment, be sure to leave a comment. And I'm going to look very quickly before we go. I'm going to look through and see if anybody had any last minute questions. Let's see. Yes, you can stamp on the flock. So it's really fun. The white flock transfer sheets are so versatile. You can ink blend onto them. You can ink blend onto any of the flock transfer sheets if you wanted to kind of alter their color a little bit. But the white is great for stamping on. You can stamp even on any of them and cut out your image. You saw me die cutting today, so it's really fun. You can put your duo gel over a stencil and transfer your pattern that way. The flock transfer sheets are really, really amazing, very versatile. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Julia from ThermOWeb is going to be picking a winner. So if you have not yet left your comment, leave your comments so that we know you're here, because if you don't leave a comment, we don't know that you're here. So leave your comment. She uses a random name picker to pick the name of the winner, and we'd love to see what you make. If you are not a member of the ThermOWeb Craft Room, that is our Facebook group on Facebook. So just search for ThermOWeb Craft Room. It'll come up and you'll answer a couple of screening questions, and then myself or someone else will let you into the group, where you will see a lot of different inspiration from design team members, from other ThermOWeb customers. Lots of stuff going on in that craft room. And you can also subscribe to the ThermOWeb email list, because they will let you know when I'm going live or when there's other events too, like giveaways and such. Okay, so it looks like there is a winner. Congratulations, Sherry White. Julia left her email address there. Make sure that you send her an email to claim your prize, because I love these products, and I hope that you do too. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much to everybody who joined me today. I'll see you again really soon. Bye.